But again, the goal is to get a little advantage, and then we want to convert it in the end game to be able to win the game. Alright, again, we're going to not do any overly exaggerated attacks. We're going to develop the pieces first. And then if we get an advantage in the end game, then that's going to be where we try to make a winning attack. Right? If you try to promote the pawn into a queen, that's how we can win. So we're attacking the center. It's a good idea. We can castle right now. They did that same thing. Now, because we have a nice bishop here pinning their pawn, we can actually bring our other bishop to pin this knight. They won't be able to attack us by coming to here. Alright, they're attacking our bishop with the pawn. Generally speaking, you do want to maintain this pin, but since they are going to attack us with this pawn, we can actually retreat back and still aim at the h6 square. So by moving our queen to here, we are going to do this battery. And we want to go in. Alright, the opponent didn't capture over there. Now, even though we want to capture here, we still have to be careful on one thing, guys. And it's actually our pawn on d4. You see, they're attacking 3 times. We're defending right now 3 times as well. So if they capture, we can capture back. However, if we capture over here, we are going to be moving our bishop and queen away from here. So in order to not lose a piece, we can actually capture their piece. Or you can also advance the pawn too. So I'm going to capture this pawn to maintain the bishop's diagonal. They captured there. Again, we want to get some free pieces. That is a free pawn. Alright, now the opponent is actually trying to exchange queens. They're also attacking our bishop. So it is an important position because if we move the queen away to avoid the queen exchange, this bishop is going to be hanging. Right, and if we capture this bishop, we're also giving them a bad double pawn. So let's capture that one. They captured there. If they capture us, we have to capture back with the bishop. But we can capture them right now. Okay, they captured now. Because we were able to do this without trading queens, we can actually afford to move our queen away without any issues. The king is open. Generally, going towards the opponent's king is a good idea. They came there, and now they're going to give us another pawn. We're attacking this pawn twice. They're only defending once. So again, we can capture this. And after they capture, we capture back with a check. It is a nice move. And our pawn advantage is now growing to 2. So that is actually winning enough in the endgame. They're defending this way. The rook is pinned. You could go for something like this to try to attack the rook. But that is actually what we call an overly aggressive move. If you try to do that, the problem is once they move the knight to here, you have to retreat the queen. And moving the pawn in front of the king like that is going to create some problems in the long term. So we don't want to do that. Instead, we can try to develop one of the rooks by going to the open file. We have the D file open. Now, how do we decide which rook goes to the D file? The A rook is going to be better because if you try to move the F rook, this pawn is a little bit weakened, which they are aiming at. So we can move the rook to D1 like this. Alright, so they move the queen all the way there, which is not a very good idea. They could try to move the pawn to attack our queen and request a trade like that. But because their queen has moved so far back, they're opening their 7th rank. So we can move our rook to the 7th rank like this, and we are pinning their knight too. Okay, they brought the queen. They are attacking our rook. And again, like this pawn is hanging, we can capture it with the queen. We're going to be doing a double attack, a battery attack to their knight. That's going to be a great idea. So let's capture that with the queen. And our advantage is growing to now 3 points. So it's slowly growing, right? They moved the king to defend the knight. And generally speaking, guys, whenever you have something like this, you want to double the rooks up so we can try to do something over here. And the opponent didn't pay attention to this. To be honest, there's not much they could have done anyway. So once we move the rook to here, it's going to be defended by 2 pieces, right? It's attacked by 2 pieces, but because they capture first, and we capture over here, their queen is going to be pinned. So doubling the rooks is generally a great idea. We're simply attacking there. Okay, opponent didn't pay attention to any of this, so we can capture the queen this way. But since we're up so much, I'm going to capture the rook first, and if they capture back, we're going to move the rook to also trade the rooks this way. So now we have a queen for a rook. Queen is much, much better. But again, we have to still convert this advantage into a win. We want to capture pieces. Right now, queen is not attacking anything. Knight is not attacking anything successfully. So before we go ahead and like try to win pieces, let's make sure our king is safe, right? Let's make sure that there won't be any backring surprises. So we can move one of the pawns, any of the pawns. And the way you usually decide is you want to create a square where it's not going to be attacked by the opponent's pieces. For example, if black had a dark squared bishop somewhere like here, aiming at this square, moving the pawn to h3 would be useless. Since the opponent doesn't have any of those, moving any pawn is going to be fine right now. I'm gonna move the f pawn to make a nice little pawn chain. And now we just capture pieces, guys. Like you can come here attacking this, still pinning the opponent's knight. Great idea. They're advancing the pawn. Again, we just come here attacking those pieces, and it's gobbling up time. They're attacking the knight. Not a big problem. Again, like we can afford to lose the knight, but we don't want to. I want to just maintain the advantage. And like we want to go for more pieces. Let's come over here attacking this. They went there, capture. We're also attacking the knight. Alright, so we have a lot of points right now. We have 9 extra points compared to the opponent. And whenever we have this much, we can just get an extra queen. Let's go for the second queen. Again, we don't want the opponent's rook to capture this pawn, so we have to pay attention to this. And they're also attacking this pawn too. Again, even though we can afford it, we don't want to give them any chances. So I'm going to move the knight, opening the queen's front, and saving the pawn too. Now the opponent's king went there. Again, we do want to advance, but since they just went there, we have this very, very nice fork. We should always like look into checking ideas. Like once you get used to it, it usually takes like a few seconds to go over all of them. Mainly they're all terrible moves. But then you see this one. This check is going to be great since it's going to be a fork. And again, it's growing our advantage. Okay, so this move prevents us from capturing this. So what we can do is we can attack the pinned piece. We can bring our knight, putting pressure on this, and they play this. So far the opponent's playing the best ideas. Now, the knight is pinned, so we don't have to capture them instantly, and this is a very key point, guys. The opponent's more stressed about this knight than us, so whenever we have a pin like this, and there's no like counter threats right now, like they can't capture us, they can't attack our queen. So what you want to do is you just want to continue with your initial plan. Now they're getting out of the pin this way, so they can capture us. It's going to lead to another trade, right? And again, like you can even capture this because after the exchanges, you are going to be able to promote the pawn, which is going to simplify the position even more, and you can get a second queen, third queen next. But for the sake of this position, we can just get this. We can get this, but let's capture the knight first. Alright, they go back, which would have happened anyway. So we get the queen, they capture, we capture back. And now we have a great advantage. Now this move is a very simple move. We are imprisoning the opponent's king all the way back, and all you gotta do is now get a second queen, and it's going to be a ladder checkmate. Again, we should pay attention to what the opponent is doing. Like if you just try to push the pawn without paying attention, they can actually promote and do a checkmate. So let's capture them anyway. Now they can move that pawn, but again, if it goes to here, we can capture back. The opponent's king has a lot of enough squares to move to, so there's no chance of a stalemate. It's important to prevent any possible stalemate positions. Alright, they come here. They can capture us. We can capture them. It's not really a big deal, so we're going to do the checkmate next. Alright. So this was a good game, but let's go over the game review anyway. It says we had a miss. Alright, so 89.3% accuracy, not bad. We have 2 misses, so let's go over the misses. Oh, okay, so it's saying we could have captured this. So capturing it is going to win us a pawn, guys, because like after this, you capture, and then you win this pawn. So that would have been a better idea, but I didn't want to do a very early queen exchange this way. Alright, what was the next miss? Let's go over that. Okay, so the engine likes advancing the pawn better, which we were discussing. And then, yep. Alright, we went there. And now our advantage increased to 2 points. Yeah, perfect moves, simple ideas. Okay, so attacking this is a very nice tactic. We're going to be attacking both. They can't capture with the knight, right? It's pinned. If they capture with this, you have this fork. This is also a good move too. We're just trying to do it in a different way. They went there. Yeah, and the rest is just easy.